come to the cemetery every week to keep his memory alive. He's so special to me, my baby. I'm so proud of you.
Connie's son was just 19 when he tried to take his own life at WA's Acacia Prison 3 years ago.
It was a Saturday morning. He rang me, said, "You're not going to do anything to yourself." He said, "No, Mum, I love you." And then around 25 minutes later, he hung himself in a storeroom.
Stanley was revived and placed on life support, but was given no chance of survival.
So I made the decision to turn the machine off because I didn't want him to be in any more pain.
Stanley was a talented artist. Connie says his paintings help keep his memory alive.
It just took him in another zone, into another world. It was his place of peace, I suppose, yeah. Not a day I don't think of him. Oh, I wish he was back here with me.
It's a pain that Samantha Wilson shares. Her daughter, Annalise, was only 11 when she took her own life.
She loved picking flowers. Flower mad. Loved her walks, loved school. And I always said that she was one of a kind.
Annalise was an alleged victim of sexual assault. A man was arrested but released on bail, leaving the girl in fear.
When I woke up, I knew something was wrong. And then, I found her in my daughter's backyard. All I seen was her feet from the back door. I found her hanging in the tree. I couldn't do nothing. She was too high. I couldn't even cut her down.
Annalise's father died by suicide just 6 months earlier.
So we lost them both. I lost 2 family members to suicide 1 year.
Samantha's telling her story because she wants more mental health support for Aboriginal communities.
There should be more services, especially for children. Something needs to be done. Because it's not working at the moment and we're losing too much family to suicide.
Last year, more than 3,200 people died by suicide, or 12.3 deaths in 100,000. But for First Nations people, the suicide rate is more than double, with 29.9 in 100,000. Suicide is also the leading cause of death for Indigenous Australians under the age of 44.
75% of suicide deaths of First Nations people are in our large towns of 100,000 plus population and in our capital cities.
And 95% of First Nations suicides are people who live below the poverty line.
There's a number of reasons why it has increased, but it's very much entrenched in the poverty. We see too many people taking their lives because there is no hope, no way forward.
Megan Cracker is director of the National Suicide Prevention and Trauma Recovery Project.
Why I believe that the Indigenous suicide rate is so high is because of the lack of intense psychosocial support, the assertive outreach, the 24/7 approach.
Megan believes the voice to Parliament can make a difference.
If our voices aren't heard to the highest level of government, nothing is going to improve. That's the reality.
Our family's broken. I miss the smell of her hair. Because they all look at suicide victims like that they're a number and a statistic, but to us they were real people and they had lives. And they meant the world to all of us.
I think these Indigenous suicide statistics show us that this country is already divided. It's been one of the things, the criticisms of The Voice, that it's dividing the country. But, having travelled and seen the way that some Indigenous people live in communities in the outback, there is no doubt there's a division in this country. And it's a division that we shouldn't be prepared to live with. Now, whether The Voice is the thing that fixes it, I don't know. But I think the way we need to start is to listen to people. I see that story and it just breaks my heart. No mother should ever bury their children. It's just awful. There's got to be a better way.
Especially for that reason.
There must be a better way.
Yeah.
And if you need support, you can always call Lifeline on 131114.
All right.